the doc you and Brady did with NFL Films on ESPN about the tuck rule is one of the best football documentaries I've ever seen. It is that good.
Wow.
Well, not only because it's so well done, NFL Films doing their thing, but it's you sitting down with Tom Brady, going over one of the most famous plays in the history of the NFL playoffs, and it's real talk between the two of you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was, and it's funny because over the years, I've had so many people that have walked up to me and said, "Hey, man, have you and Tom ever talked about that play?" And it's like, no, like really, why would we? You know, the play happened. It's not as if Tom made the call. He was just part of the play. So there's really no reason to talk to him and be like, "Hey, Tom, man, you made the wrong call." He didn't make it. But as time went on, you know, we both got approached, you know, NFL Films. Let's talk about the play. And he was in, I was in, and we sat down, man, and we had a lot of fun, you know, talking about it. But what I will say is, I tweeted this the other day, is that I'm not a lawyer, but I do have my doctorate of laws from the University of Michigan.
Yes.
I won the case. Hey, you guys watched it. Did you hear him?
Well,
Fumble.
that's
now, it slipped out of him, but that was the truth. That was the truth spilling out of him.
So, again, your position is even with the rule being what it was, you still think it's a fumble or what? Because the rule at the time made it clear that if you are bringing the ball down in the process of bringing it down and the ball comes loose, that's considered an incomplete pass, which is absurd because, as I was saying for years, and Mike Pereira, the head of NFL refs at the time, was countering that it removes the gray area from whether it's a pass or not. I'm like, actually, you're creating the gray area.
Right.
That there's no more of a clear indication I do not intend to throw than by tucking the football. So the immediate process of tucking makes you a runner, and that should be a fumble.
100%.
That's it. End of story. And this entire documentary is the gray area. And two greats involved in an all-time play. It's just, you're arguing gray area. And I'm just thinking to myself, my kids, when they grow up and see this stuff, they'll be like, wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
And the way they always start the argument is that his arm was going forward. Well, at which point his arm's not going forward. It's no longer a pass or an attempt to pass. If you're attempting to tuck the ball back under, even if you're attempting, even if you don't get it all the way back to the body. And like I explained in the documentary, I said, Tom, once you got the ball here, you've never thrown the ball downfield down here.
Right.
You're bringing that ball back. It doesn't matter what happened beforehand. It's a fumble. Like, that just is what it is. And so everybody, well, that was the rule. And, you know, yeah, maybe it was a fumble, but that was the rule. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't care about a rule. You ever heard rules were meant to be broken? There's no argument for bringing the ball back, slapping it out, fumble, it's over.
But then you guys are like going at it about, Tom brought it with, it never hit his second hand, and if it had touched his second hand, then obviously now he becomes a runner and he wouldn't have been able to get out.
So he made up his own rule. So if both of your hands touch the ball, that constitutes as a fumble.
So when it was all over and the shoot was over, how did it end between the two of you?
I gave him a bottle of whiskey and he was on his way. I was on my way. That was it.
What did you think when Tom walked out and he was wearing the Super Bowl ring from that year?
That was harsh. That was harsh.
Knife to the stomach.
Just right in the face, like a little knife in the gut. It's like, man, it's like the song, it's supposed to be me. You're supposed to be me.
Did you know he was bringing a Super Bowl ring that day? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
And do you know how many people think it was Brady's house that you shot this in? It was not his house, correct, that you shot this in?
Oh, it was not. It was not. I think we saved him, though, because if that was his house, you'd probably have people riding by, spray paint tuck rule on his house. We don't want that. We don't want that, Rich.
Who won the pool game? Did Brady end up beating you?
I got crushed.
Oh,
yeah. I was caught up in the moment.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
He was in your head?
He was in my head. He got in my head. I was trying to explain what would happen if it went the other way, and I'm trying to shoot. Yeah, he got me.
Well, the two parts of this documentary that really, one I didn't know. Well, all of them I didn't realize, and then one I didn't know. The one I didn't know is Eric Allen, your teammate, and the play before the tuck, and the play before Brady's running out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And Eric Allen saw Charlie Weiss, the OC, go up to Tom and basically, have an opportunity with his young quarterback to physically face-to-face tell him what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
And Eric hid behind the
just waiting in the week.
He hid behind the official and heard what the next play call was going to be.
So just kind of just inconspicuously, he's standing on their sideline. Yeah. And so what's interesting is that when he came to the huddle, he was like explaining what they were going to do.
Right.
But we were like, how do you know that, right? Hey, this is what the team's going to do. And we're like, really? Okay. So the way they lined up, it was set up for that because, it was 3-by-1, single receiver side. Mm-hmm. And it's like, damn, he's going to try to throw it, and EA's going to pick it. And so that's the thing that gave me time to get there, and that's what made him bring the ball back down. That's what caused the fumble.
So he brings the ball back down because he sees if I let it go, it's a pick.
It was a picked off.
But the fact that he saw that and that option was taken away immediately allowed you the time to get to him.
That's it. 100%.
And so he told this to you in the huddle, and you called that defense specifically based on his information?
No. We the play, they called the play. It was a blitz on,
mm-hmm.
And so. For me, lining up the way I did, I tried to line up as wide as I could, just to make it seem like I'm lined up over the receiver. I have the receiver as man-to-man to just kind of get out of his purview. And play snap, I'm coming from out wide.
Mm-hmm.
So he, brings the ball back down. I'm there. I got time to get there because EA's sitting there waiting for this ball to release out of his hand. So if he throws the ball, EA's going 60 yards the other way.
And the other thing I didn't realize is you hit him in the head. And then Brady, when the ball was out,
he kicked me. He kicked him right in the...
Right. Who did he trip? He tripped...
It was Beekert.
He tripped Beekert trying to go recover it.
Yeah.
Who ended up recovering, right?
Beekert recovered it,
actually got it,
Yeah.
And so...
So basically it's 2-1.
What's the other one?
What's the initial fumble?
Initial fumble. Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was well done.
It was.
And
it was a lot of fun. And
it was great.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't expecting some of the names to pop. I mean, Walt Coleman, the actual referee from the game in the documentary, he was great.
There's no intent in the rule. I'm so thankful this thing's out of the rule book. It's just such a dumb conversation. Just a dumb conversation. Was he bringing it down? Was he not? That's the act of going from here, doing this, regardless if it's forward or not, is a clear indication I no longer intend to throw. And that's what I was telling Pereira for all those years. And guess what happened? They took the rule out. You're welcome.
You know what, Rich?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm a factor. That's all I'm trying to say, Charles.
You're a force.
I'm a force.
You're a force.
With which to be reckoned.
That's right.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.